Yo, Wagwan everyone, Sanjay Uchiha here. So I have a topic off the top of my head I wanted to speak on based on the events of the previous chapter or the latest chapter of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, chapter 48. So of course there will be spoiler talk for this discussion video. Of course, if you like Boruto content, of course, saying of course a lot, subscribe, like, comment, what people do on YouTube, I guess. And of course, just tune in for more Boruto content to come. But getting into today's discussion, character deaths or injuries or something along the lines, whatever I decide to title this video. The fact is, Isshiki Otsutsuki is in Konoha, and based on the setup for that last chapter of Boruto right there, where we have the idea that the plan is to protect Kawaki, definitely that's the objective, and Naruto and Sasuke have the best fighting power, the most fighting power when it comes down to defending the village, naturally. But at the same time, they can't actually leave Kawaki unguarded. But at the same time, I don't see Naruto and Sasuke leaving the village to everybody else like that. Like, I don't see them like having Sasuke open a portal and they just jump into a portal and leave Konoha as it is. So yeah, as Sasuke said in the chapter, they're willing to die for Konoha. So I don't see them doing that. That'd be like a really wild sacrifice on their part. But at the same time, given that they can't really move away from Kawaki, it calls into question, will we see other characters make a return to stall Isshiki in the meantime? That is the better question. So given the way things are set up, or how I'm assuming it's going to go, I'm expecting a lot of the previous generation, the Leaf Jonin, and the previous generation in general to make a stand against Isshiki. So we might see characters like Rock Lee, we might see like Kakashi, probably might see Guy, might see Troji, Shikamaru's there too. A lot of those other generation members come out to actually fight Isshiki. Not that they stand a chance, but at the same time, we haven't seen those characters. And honestly, we might see quite a few of them die. And as if you've been into the Boruto side of the franchise for a while and been following up like interviews and all that, you should know that in terms of killing off the old generation, that there's nothing really protecting them. The author has I believe he should have the green light from Kishimoto to kill them off. And that would actually, our death or like severe injury has a very practical role in the narrative going forward, especially when it comes down to the new generation characters who are not a highlight in the Boruto manga specifically. Like, a lot of Boruto's generation aren't really prominent in the manga. And here we go, another helicopter or something passing over. Hopefully it's not too loud with the mic. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so a lot of them aren't really prominent. But one thing I've kind of always pushed forward on this channel regarding the Boruto series is that regarding building up the new generation is bringing in the old cast, which a lot of us are always interested to see, and build a dynamic between them and the like select members of the new generation. Now, coming into this situation where the village is in like the worst situation it's ever been in, and in terms of who they're up against, having these characters from the old generation probably go up against Isshiki only for the new generation members to actually see or witness something, it would be a major push for their character going forward, if I'm being honest. And even though the manga isn't going to be as long as Naruto, as I keep saying, unless they change their mind, I think it would give us something to look forward to regarding these new generation characters for the time skip, at least. Some motivations, add some new layers to their characters. Because honestly, outside of Team 7 and Shikadai, Tolasex and Shoucho and Inajin, manga wise specifically we're talking now, there's nothing much to go by regarding the other members of the new generation. So yeah, but it all comes back to how Boruto as a franchise is set up, because the gaps in the manga is seemingly filled by the anime. So I guess to some degree I am invested in some of the other new generation members. So yeah. But at the same time, I think having these characters die wouldn't be too much of a problem. There would be backlash. Don't get me wrong, but for the most part, these are characters that have gone through their story already. They've been developed, and even though we have characters like Naruto and Sasuke who continue to either develop or showcase their growth, which has been a breath of fresh air in the Boruto franchise. Honestly, like Sasuke and Naruto, it's refreshing to see them. Honestly, but some characters I feel could probably be wiped off. Probably not even immediately. Probably, I think I'd be more a fan of them going up against Isshiki, and then given Isshiki isn't really too pressed on long drawn out fights, he just needs to get Kawaki. Probably have some of these characters be injured and then finally meet their end after the time skip. I think I'd be more up for that than just kill them off now, especially since they haven't had much of a presence to date in the manga. So I think setting the stage right now for them to die is the initial thing that we need. Alright, so the next thing we really need to talk about is the matchups. I mean, this is Isshiki versus Konoha, but the long and short of it, nobody really stands a chance against Isshiki. Nobody. It's not even funny, honestly. Despite the fact that a lot of persons, like most characters, should be way stronger now than they were in the war arc, like based on how Isshiki decimated Naruto and Sasuke in their previous fight, no one should be able to beat Isshiki. But however, I said it in my Boruto chapter 48 review. Even if you have a character that's stronger than, say, character A is stronger than character B, character A, depending on where you are in the story and what you're trying to achieve, character A should be written to a degree where he has weaknesses that enables some amazing choreography and strategy on character B's part to at least make the fights look or seem interesting. Even though we know there's no way they can win, case in point, Caution Koji versus Isshiki, but at least where choreography is concerned, because there are rules and everything established for the story. We know, for example, Ishiki's Sukuna Hikona, he can only shrink himself and inanimate objects, and Daikokuten, he can bring back objects from his timeless dimension to the real world. So there's that. But at the same time, with Sukuna Hikona, he can only shrink what he's looking at. So stuff like that, as well as the fact that his body can't really handle his power like that. It's steadily breaking down. These are things I expect a model to relate to the persons that will be going up against Isshiki first, for them to like make use of and plan around actually combating Isshiki, and hopefully are somehow attempt to push his body to its limit so it can break down faster. So yeah, stuff like that is what I'm expecting to see or hope to see in the coming conflict with Isshiki, despite the fact that they don't stand a chance at the same time. So yeah, but I'll end it like that. But for the most part, as I've been saying for this video, the highlight is a lot of characters from Naruto's generation might get like significant injuries or even die in this upcoming conflict, and that in turn will influence the next generation, the new generation characters for the best, for us as the audience get more invested in them, because I feel like having the previous generation get injured and these characters that have known peace for most of their life, having a conflict like this come to the village is going to add some layers to their character. So yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to see. But at the end of the day, I don't want Naruto's generation to just die like that. I want them to more so be put in states of, you know, it's like critical injury. Probably they're injured for like a few years, they're in a coma or whatever the key is. Probably one or two characters could die, but just write it in a way where the new generation can really be shaken up and you can take their characters to the next level. That's the ultimate goal with the characters quote unquote dying or getting injured from Naruto's generation. So yeah, but anyway, let me know what you think and what your expectations are for the coming conflict with Isshiki Otsutsuki, the second coming of Almighty Push. So yeah, Sanju Uchiha, be sure to like the video. It definitely helps me out. Share as well if you enjoyed the discussion. Subscribe. We're on our way to 1,000 subs. And just have a great day, guys. I'll see you in the next Boruto video.